Alright, welcome back to part 3 of this video series on the overview of our program here. Here we are at motors. Now there's 6 steps that you got to take on motors, and we go over all 6 steps to figure out the circuits for motor circuits. You've got to find the FLC, thermal protectors, which are heaters, branch circuit sizing, branch circuit overcurrent device, fuses, feeder conductors, feeder overcurrent. And we go over all this. We even have a neat little chart here. It's been used for years by many people, but it shows your 6 steps. Go on to lesson 5 is box fill. We go over box fill in detail. We go over different kind of pull boxes and conduit fill. You have your test 1 on conduit and box fill, test 2 on chapter 5. Here's your review test. Your review test is going to give you, it's got 500 banked questions, all of stuff that you've already learned. And actually there's 110 questions. It says 100 here, that's a mistype, but it's 110 at 4.5 hours. That is your midway point, and like we said, there is well over 1,000 questions in this altogether. Household cooking equipment and dryers. That seems to be a tough thing for everybody. We go over it in detail. You just have to work yourself through it. We give you examples. These examples are coming very handy to see what we're putting together here and how we're doing it. And they're also helpful to somehow sneak in your code book during the exam. I've had people do that. It helps them out a lot. But don't take my word for that. If you get caught, they could take all your stuff up. Examples, your test 1, test 2 on chapter 6. I'm going to run through this real quick. Dwelling units. We're going to go step by step through to your dwelling units. We've got a pretty neat flow chart here. This is sort of residential and commercial, standard, optional, that kind of stuff. Really neat stuff right there. Then we're going to go through and we're going to give you an example on standard, optional, multifamily, standard, multifamily, optional. Here's standard. These things right here will come in handy to sort of show you how to do it. You've got your tests. You actually got your test on your formulas. You've got your test on your chapter 7. I'm going to go back up here. Next, commercial service feeders. Same thing as residential. Various demand calculations. These come in handy. Stores, banks, show windows, receptacle loads, general lighting loads, kitchen equipment. Stuff's very, very important. Very helpful. So, and you're going to have, of course, 2 tests on here. Next, transformers. This is where the journeyman's going to have to figure out what his local municipality or state requires. But most journeymen will only work with single phase, not 3-phase. But it does not hurt. Since you've got your program here, it does not hurt to use it and learn it. Come in helpful out on the field. Single phase, 3-phase transformers, goes over everything here. Gives you a brief. Some people haven't worked with transformers, so it's going to tell you what, it's going to give you definitions, and that way when the questions have these words in it like ratio or unbalanced load, you need to know what that is to figure it out. Transformer basics. This is just going to be giving you some basics on transformer. Nothing you'll really need for your exam. It just gives you an understanding of how a transformer is built, what it consists of, how it operates, and how it does what it does. Glossary, same thing, of course. It's more of a definition type thing. Very helpful for apprentice. Here's your formulas on transformers, and it's going to give you some questions, and it's going to work you through examples. Can't beat that. Test 1, transformers test, and then you got an open book test. This is a pretty neat test right here. Alright, next 9, oh, sorry, went back too far. Okay, motor controls. Here's the end of your course here. And all this has just got tons and tons of information in it. Motor controls. Gives you everything. We've got a list of symbols that you will run across on the test, possibly. These are all symbols that are common electrical symbols. You can go through that. Example test. Here's an example test. This is very helpful in motor controls. We're going to give you a question. We're going to show you the diagrams, and then we're going to work it with you. Okay? And then you're going to see how we're working that out right here in front of you. And you can tell there's just tons and tons of these, tons and tons. So it's going to really help you on that. Then we're going to go to the test. Now these tests are a little bit different. There's so much information, so many pictures, that these tests you'll be able to print out. And you've noticed we have motor control test 1. Here's your answers. These are your multiple choice answers. There's so many multiple choice. Here you go. And to get your answers, click answers. And test 2 is done the same way. Then you have your final test. This is the nuts and bolts of everything. The testing. If you noticed, everything's got tests, everything's got questions. All these, or most of these, are actual exam questions taken off the exam by me and by others. So you're going to get exactly what is being given on these exams. Matter of fact, sometimes these tests are harder than what you're going to come across in certain states. This right here has got a bank of over 1,000 questions. The test is only going to give you 100 at a time. So therefore, you've got a bank of 1,000 to draw from. You're not going to get the same test twice. Same thing. You can start. Here you got 4.5 hours to complete it. And passing rate is 80%, which is mostly for masters. 80%, I think most journeymen is a 75% pass rate. Different states do it differently. Some is 70 and 75. Some are 75 and 80. But this concludes your overview of our course. We've put a lot of